Hi everyone, I'm Stephen, and this is the Stephen Washington Experience, and you and I are having a heart-mind moment. Let's take a breath together. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. So, at about 3 a.m. this morning, I woke up and I suddenly had the inspiration to make a video on listening and just how important listening is in my life day to day. Whether it's my personal life or my professional life, listening is a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal for all of us. Now, did you know that 70% of what we do in life is communication? 45% of that is listening, 30% of that is speaking, and 16% of that is reading, and about 9% of that is writing. And that's a lot of listening. And there's a big difference between listening and hearing. Hearing has more to do with the physical act of just taking in sound and processing it from our ears to our brain. Listening has more to do with the story that's being told and the language that's being used, as well as the voice that's telling the message, that's delivering the message, as well as the body language that we are witnessing in another person. So there's a great deal of verbal and nonverbal communication that's taking place, and it's always happening around us. There are obstacles to our listening with focus and intention. And sometimes the obstacles could be as simple as someone walking into a room and pulling our focus away from the person who's speaking. How many times have you listened to someone speak and about 2 or 3 sentences in, you are already thinking about what you're going to say in response? And then you lose track of the story that they're telling you. Sometimes you can be distracted by the appearance of the person who's speaking. And the list could go on and on. And the person who is speaking and who has our attention, at least for a moment, might notice that we're suddenly not engaging in eye contact with them, or we're fidgeting in our chair and we're not really present in the room. And that might cause them to stop speaking, or they may get upset because the person they're talking to and thinking that you're listening to them, you're not really listening to them at all. So listening is something that deserves our focus and attention, and it's something that it's important to become skillful at. I know for me, when I am engaging actively in my relationships, like with my partner or with my family, how important it is for me to listen. Now, my partner will tell you very often that he would love it if I were to speak more and listen a little less. He doesn't always think I express myself. But that just shows that it's important to have a balance between listening and sharing. But I do try to listen, and when I find that I am not quite present and focused on what's being said, I just take a moment and I reset. I reset and I re-engage. And listening plays a big role in my life in my 12-step recovery. I go to meetings, and meetings are, I don't know how many people could be in a meeting, 20, 30 people, sometimes 5, doesn't matter. But we share our experience, strength, and hope with one another. And after someone shares their experience, strength, and hope, we very often go around the room and talk a little bit. Sometimes when I'm listening to someone share, I will already start thinking about what I'm going to say in response, and then it pulls me out of the moment, and then I'm not really listening to what they're saying. And it's important that I listen. It's important for me to know what your experience is and how we're similar, how my experience is similar to your experience, and also how it's different. But more often, I want to know about how it's similar, because I think we live in a world today where we're really beat upon by this notion that we're just so different and we can't possibly understand one another, and that's just not true. Now, listening plays a big role in my work life as well. I teach movement, I teach Pilates, I teach Qigong, and I also am a massage therapist, and so I give therapeutic touch. and I also coach people. It's important for me to be present with them. When people show up to sessions with me, they are presenting themselves in a vulnerable way, and I want to make sure that I honor their presence and their time with my attention and with my focus, so that I can give them what I have to offer, which is my expertise. That's really important. So the most basic and powerful way that we can show up for someone is to listen. Just listen. That's perhaps the most important thing that we can offer. And my question to you is, are you listening today? And if you're not listening, what's distracting you? And can you reset, focus on the moment, and really listen and pay attention? That's it for the Heart Mind Moment of today. Again, I'm Stephen, and this is the Stephen Washington Experience, and thank you for spending the time with me. Many blessings. Bye.